Greetings, YouTube. I don't know if it's because someone like the Rice Cooker, who I think was a great YouTuber, decided to call it quits this week. I don't know what the general reason is, but in general, I've received 3 requests in the past 2 days to talk about whether or not I've been burnt out in the game and kind of how to prevent that. And it's something I never thought I'd really talk about, but I always tell you I like to do new videos with different content, and so this is something I want to focus on today. And I'm starting this focus by showing you my 1-star champs, because to bring you back, to take you back to when I started playing this game over 2 years ago, this is how I started. I had seen a commercial, an advertisement on, I think a Swagbucks website for Symbiote Spider-Man, and I thought, there's a game that you can be Spider-Man and Venom Symbiote together in a fighting game like Mortal Kombat? I'm in. Why not? Sounds fun to me. And I picked up this game, and what I love about MCOC is that you can pick it up. I had never played a single hand-to-hand combat mobile video game ever. Never any kind of game. I was as foreign to, like, the last system I owned was the GameCube, and some of you probably watching this don't even know what the GameCube is. Personally, I'm a Super Nintendo fan myself, and a Nintendo 64 because I'm old. But regardless, I hadn't owned a video game system in years and decided to pick up this game. What's great about MCOC is that it's easy enough to where within like an hour, hell, within 10 minutes, you can get the basics of the fighting style down, and the animations are beautiful. It's nice also, though, that it's hard enough to where you can't just destroy all the content in the first day. There's strategy, and of course, the best thing about it, and the most exciting thing is you don't get to pick your champions. It's all random, like a slot machine, which of course is also leading to crazy addictions, but that's another video for another time. So you start out with these 1-star champions, and you're like, okay, cool. I like Spider-Man. I think I know who some of these people are. At the point, I didn't know who Colossus was, but everything else, sure. And then you get those 2 stars. And a jump from a 1-star to a 2-star is pretty significant. And there's so many different champions you can open, and suddenly you're learning about all these things. I thought I was just stupid and didn't know who Guillotine was, and then came to find out, like, literally a year into the game, oh, they made up that champion. They literally invented it. I'm like, oh, that makes me feel better about not knowing who that was. But regardless, so many great champions, 1 and 2 stars. And then there's that first moment where you're like, what? A 3-star? And the difference between a 3-star and a 1-star is incredible. And to see the damage output and the lack of damage you take when you get hit, especially in that first beginner content, it's fantastic. You feel like a badass. That's this rush of accomplishment almost. And then I'll never forget when I got my first 4-star hero. It actually came up on my phone as a game achievement. Like I had done something with my life. Forget my college degrees. I had achieved a random 4-star in the game. This was the pinnacle of my existence. And even though it was a Black Bolt, and I would find out very soon when I tried his specials that I could actually die because of them. Thank God that's no longer going to be the case. I loved it. To go from a 1-star Spider-Man to a 4-star Black Bolt, it was like going in Dragon Ball Z from like being a tree stump to Goku Super Saiyan 4. It made me feel like I could possess the power of 1,000 splendid suns before we got let down by that character reference, if you know what I'm talking about. And then, of course, eventually went from 4 stars to 5 stars, which is still crazy. All this time, all this effort in ranking up champs, and it's an addiction, because you go from having these 1-star champs to 2-star champs, and to rank them up and to get them more powerful, and eventually you join an alliance, and suddenly you're playing the game with people from all over the world, and all of that is fantastic. But if you push yourself too hard, too fast, you're going to go from picking up this game you saw on TV or somewhere and having fun casually to working a full-time job that's no longer fun, where you're in an alliance that, as I've talked about in past videos, kind of becomes this unhealthy codependent relationship where you are stressing and complaining because you're not really clearing your alliance quest in very good time, and you're losing most of your alliance wars, and people aren't donating. And now it's like you're in a relationship, in an unhealthy relationship with somebody that you want to break up with, but you don't really want to leave them because you don't want to be a douchebag. So you just kind of keep going back and forth, waking up every day, gaining nothing but depression. And then one day you wake up and you just feel this sensation, this strong desire to just quit the game. And that's too bad, because I think there are certain strategies that you can take to avoid that MCOC burnout, and that's why I'm making this video today. So just to recap the alliance thing, if you're not in a good alliance, you should leave your alliance immediately. Now, I say immediately. If you've got friends in there, you should tell them, hey guys, I'm either going to leave this alliance or we need to kick out all the lazy losers and get people who care. But if you're in an unhealthy alliance, that's the number one, to me, predictor of burnout, because it's not fun. There's no reason to be in it. It's like being in a bad relationship. You're just going to be miserable. So assuming that's not you, the second burnout pattern, if you will, that I've seen over and over again is people that climb so high, so fast, that you kind of get to the top and it's like you've been playing Mortal Kombat for 2 years. And trust me, like, just a little bit about myself. This is probably not going to be surprising to the trolls who comment on my channel. I haven't been in most of my romantic relationships for as long as I've been committed to MCOC, which is for over 2 years. And maybe that says more to me about my inability to keep a long-term serious relationship as it is to play a mobile video game. But regardless, I've committed to this for longer than like 80% of the relationships I've been in. That's kind of staggering, kind of crazy, and yet it's true. And last summer, I was burnt out. I was so burnt out that I decided to do something which is my next strategy tip for you. And this can be something that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but it's wonderful. Even if you've been in a great alliance, you know the stresses of Alliance Quest and Alliance War and even donations every week. It can feel like you're being taxed, and certainly you can't exactly relax. It's kind of crazy to think, like, I'm going to go to the restroom in the middle of the night, and I'm going to move an Alliance Quest because I don't want to hold people up. Like, you get kind of used to thinking about that, but then when you step back, you're like, man, it's kind of crazy. I have to go to my phone at 3 a.m. just to make sure people aren't pissed off. But anyhow, I was Alliance free for over 3 months, and I thought that I would hate it, but it was so freeing. It was like I had taken handcuffs off my hands, because suddenly I wasn't bound to Alliance Quest and Alliance War, and then, of course, besides that, just having to do things every day. I could grind the arena if I wanted to, but if not, no big. I could play the event quests at my own pace, and there was no reason why, other than maybe once a day for the daily calendar, why I had to play the game every day for hours a day. And that made me miss it, because I missed being great at it, but it also gave me a healthy perspective of a break. And so if you have to leave all alliances and just do what a lot of people call retirement, go for it. Now, I've learned since then that there are these things called semi-retirement alliances, and that can actually be something that you look to participate in with people who are giving you no pressure to be in an Alliance War, an Alliance Quest. It's just an alliance for like alliance events and for gifting events, and that's probably the best strategy overall. But still, if you don't even want to do that and you just don't want to be in an alliance, playing the game can be so much fun when you don't have the pressures of people around you depending on you and counting on you. Besides that, just remember, it's important to not spend like half your day playing any mobile video game or video game. Even if you have a YouTube channel like me, invest in the people in your life that actually exist: your friends, your family, your significant other, your kids, your pets. Have a healthy balance. Remember that sunshine is important, and this should be something that you do as a hobby, but not as a second job or a first job in some people's cases. And I just want to say, part of the reason why these games are so addicting is that they use the same random number generator that slot machines do. And so it can also be a really dangerous problem to feel like the best way that you can win is by getting the best champs. So you literally spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in order to try to open those Grandmaster featured crystals. And I don't want this to sound preachy as if I'm telling you how to spend your money, because if you've got the money to spend and you've done well, buddy, you spend on whatever you want. But I'm just saying, it can also get to a point where you're relying on giving Kabam your credit card in order to get that dopamine fix in your brain. And that is a dangerous point to be at as well, just like it would be if you were into casinos or anything else. So, in review, healthy balance, couple hours a day maybe, but just monitor it. Know that you want to take time away from all electronic devices and keep that balance. Enjoy oxygen, trees, living things. And then on top of that, remember that if you're in a bad alliance, you need to move on to something that's healthier and more enjoyable. And if you've got some friends, move together, don't abandon them. But better is healthier and happier. And then if you have to leave an alliance and you just have to take a break and do your own thing at your own pace, you should do that for sure. And you won't regret it. In fact, it'll feel freeing. There are some days where even though I love my alliance, I'm like, man, I might go back to just being alliance free for a couple of months. Because when in doubt, like it's not so demanding, and therefore you're not stressed. So I know this is a different kind of video. I don't want this to seem like it's an MCOC version of Alcoholics Anonymous, but I was asked this question multiple times. I wanted to do a video on it, and I just want you to be aware, if you're a new player, that burnout can happen. And if you're feeling burnout, hopefully these tips will help you. Either way, I want this community to be as good as possible. I want to be real with you. I'm always going to keep it 100. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and I really appreciate your support and your diligence to watch my video and support my channel, because teaching college can be really stressful too. And making these videos and interacting with you, this is often the highlight of my day. So thank you for making my day, and hopefully helping to make yours as well. I really appreciate you, YouTube. Thanks for watching.